Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the La Ventana Viva herself, Sandy Reevy.
I'm always interested in what you're going to title me,
It is
other
episode
than
280.
mom.
It is episode 285, January 8th. Let's get right into it. In the transits, we have a big week where we have Mercury square Neptune.
Maybe those other people aren't wrong.
January 9, Tuesday, Sun trine Uranus retrograde.
Signals a turn.
Mars sextile Saturn.
Two malefics are primed.
January 10, Wednesday, Mars rising as a morning star.
Wake up early.
January 11th, Thursday, new moon at 20 degrees of Capricorn.
Yeah, at 5:57. Getting help from friends.
January 12th, Friday, Mars trine Jupiter.
Applying trine.
And January 13th, Saturday, Mercury ingress Capricorn.
Third time crossing.
Then in Talisman times, we are reminding everyone the Talisman of the month is still available. And on the horizon, we have our year ahead forecast up and ready for you. It is free to everyone, and our 2024 retreat schedule. Then in our house, Sandy is just beginning the Mexico retreat for 2024. Listen in and see how it's going. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you.
Hello, La Ventana Viva.
I love it here. The window. It certainly is like something that you would dream about, staring out at a window, the lush blue, Sea of Cortez. It just changes colors.
It's so pretty.
Yeah, it is. And all the kite flyers or flying kiters or whatever they're called out there all afternoon with their different colored sails. It's just it's very movable. There's a lot of moving things here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We just can sit still around the pool. So nice.
And watch the activity sail on by. Kite surfers, by the way.
Kite surfers. Okay.
Okay, well, it is episode 285, and I want to go direct to all of our listeners. This message is from Marita. She says, the intention beads talisman bracelets are a wearable artistic vision board. She said, for me, mine is a meaningful vision board that I can wear on my own wrist throughout the day. So very
That's
cool.
so cool. I remember her saying that, but it's a good visual actually, because a lot of people are making vision boards for the new year. However, I think the best time for a vision board is the very first new moon after the new zodiacal year, which is in usually late March or early April.
March.
So, yeah. March or late March or early April, whenever that first new moon is in Aries, right? To me, that's the best time to set a new pathway, a new vision board. In fact, I used to hold them then.
Yes. Yeah. So let's move into the transits where we have a big week ahead. Starting with today, January 8th, Monday, Mercury squared Neptune.
Right. So this is the third of three passes that Mercury's done during his retrograde period. So now he's still in his shadow. He's in his shadow till January 21st. So he's doing the third pass of a bunch of different planets in the sky. And this is his square to Neptune. So, maybe those other people aren't wrong, right? They may not be right, but they're not wrong. You've had some and enough time to ponder over other suggestions, really, since Thanksgiving, since November 25th. What do you think about those thoughts or communication levels now, right? Because the interesting thing is both of these, Mercury is direct and Neptune is direct. The first time they met up on the 25th, November 25th, Mercury was direct, Neptune was retrograde. And then the second time they met, December 27th, Mercury was retrograde and Neptune was direct. So it's kind of now they're both direct. So now it's like that inquisitive, that like things are like moving into locking position, like the clock is ticking again, moving forward. And
Mhm.
so it's kind of like answering something that has been off. And so maybe you do need to take others' considerations into your perception.
You're right. Or even look around to find the resources that are reliable.
Because the Neptune can create a illusion, a delusion, a untruth or confusion or unclarity of some time. So now it's kind of like this is the final connection of them, third out of three. So it's like,
Mhm.
what is the truth?
Right.
So maybe you can take some advice from other people that you've not been wanting to take, right? Yeah.
Right. January 9th, we have 2 transits on this Tuesday. Sun, trine, Uranus retrograde.
Yeah, this signals a turn. Again, anytime we see the sun making a trine to an outer or superior planet, this is an outer, Uranus, it signals the turn that it's going to be moving in its opposite direction. So Uranus is the last planet, the last outer planet, or really the last planet in 2024 to move direct. So he's in his direct movement soon. Um, be the lead for this innovative project. Be the lead of it. What's this progressive thought? The sun is here in Capricorn, making a trine to this Uranus. So it's all Earth. It's like, what are you doing with some of your ideas? And if you're not the lead on the inventive, in imaginative project, be on the team, be part of it.
Mhm. And same day, January 9th, Tuesday, Mars sextile Saturn.
Yeah, these are the two malefics. They're both primed. They're both in the position of it's actually nice. It's a sextile, so it's an opportunistic um, movement of this Mars in Capricorn, where Mars is exalted, and it's with reception because Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn. So they're both motivated and they're both ready to establish some situation. So it's an easy step for new structure. Um,
Mhm.
this is it's not my favorite day, but it should be. It's actually could be my favorite day of the week if I
Mhm.
started doing that versus the favorite day of the month. But this Tuesday is really a lot of they're working well together, the two malefics.
That's great.
Mhm.
And so they're eliciting a lot of change, I'm hearing.
Well, they're ready to establish something. They're ready to put something down into concrete, like the making your handprints in a concrete, loose
Slab.
concrete
Mhm.
slab, yeah, and having it firm up, having it um, harden, because you're ready to take this forward movement. You're ready to say yes to something. It's very
Okay.
motivating. Yeah.
Sounds great. And January 10th, Wednesday, Mars rising as a morning star.
So this is really interesting because Mars is rising as a morning star, but it's going to be a morning star all year long. That
Hmm.
sounds pretty, I don't know how unusual that is, but just where the Mars is in the sun moves, twice as fast as Mars, but Mars seems to be kind of on the tail um, of of or the head of the sun because Mars is coming up. So it's kind of like that old adage, the early bird gets the worm. So
Mm,
there is this feeling of early movement, early motivation. Let's get going before the day begins.
yes.
Yeah,
So
all year. So that's cool.
early wake up
When I was
calls for
flying,
the whole
yeah,
year?
Say that again.
So early wake-up calls for the whole year?
The whole year, man, until we get till December when Mars starts his retrograde cycle. But when I was flying here from Chicago to Los Cabos, Mexico, a couple days ago, I took the early flight, and I was able to see Venus coming up while I'm in the air, Venus and Mercury, and I couldn't see Mars because that was, like 5 days earlier than he was coming up. He was separating himself far enough away from the sun to be seen. So I haven't seen him yet. So I would assume I can see him on Wednesday, the 10th, that he'll be far enough away from the sun that I can see him.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool.
So it's a really cool position because we see Venus, Mercury, Mars, all before the sun comes up.
Right.
So, the astrology and the astronomy have a link. And so pay attention to what's going on in the sky versus what's going on, on your chart.
Right. So let's move into January 11th, Thursday, a new moon at 20 degrees of Capricorn.
Yeah, this is at 5:57 a.m. This is Chicago time. And, we've got, sun and the moon, that's a new moon, sun and the moon are at 20 degrees of Capricorn. And so this is square the nodes, exact square the nodes of Aries, 20 degrees of Aries and 20 degrees of Libra. But it's trine to Uranus and it's sextile to Neptune. So the ability to ask for assistance, ask for support, ask for help from friends. Remember, we just talked about Mars and Saturn working together. And the Jupiter inside here is making a minor trine. So it's really about, hey, what do you need help with? Ask, because it could be that you could be in service to the person you're asking help from. It's like, hey, yes, can you help me with this? And they're like, perfect. Can you help me with this? It's like, yeah, that's a good reciprocal, help. But
Right.
you have to speak it to see that alliance.
Speak it or ask for it. And sometimes that's not the easiest.
Yeah.
All
So I
right. So
like this because we'll be here on the retreat. We're here on the retreat during that. We're going to actually use this new moon for our talisman time of, setting an intention for the year of asking for help when you need it.
beautiful.
Mhm.
So January 12th, Friday, Mars trine Jupiter.
Yeah, this is an applying trine. So Mars is making marks upon the path. So it's like, Mars trine, we got the trine in there of harmonizing energies of Mars is in Capricorn, Earth, with Jupiter in Taurus, Earth. So Earth is this advancement, this forward movement. It's making marks in the sand, right? Without the water coming in and erasing what you have done. Again, it's kind of like that fingerprints in the raw concrete, in the mortar, in the clay. Yeah. I mean, I am a bricklayer's daughter, and so I used to have to make the cement or make the mortar. And it was fun to play with because as soon as it dried, it was permanent.
Right.
Kind of interesting that I'm a clay bead maker because bricks are made out of clay. So it's kind
Right.
of like totally my daddy's daughter.
And to wind up the week, we have January 13th, Saturday, Mercury ingress Capricorn.
And this is the third time crossing because if Mercury crossed this boundary of Capricorn, which is a world point, by the way, Mercury crossed it in November, came back over it in his retrograde in December, moving now across it here in January. So you're all set with the tools. You're all set with your supplies. You've got your bags filled of all the equipment that you need to do a job. Now, Mercury in the early degrees of Capricorn, up to from 0 to 7 degrees of Capricorn, is in bounds. So for the next 6 days, So this is Saturday the 13th until add 6 days to that. That's the 19th. This Mercury is in managerial strength. Even though he's still in shadow, he's still able to pull out what he needs from his, bevy of tools and able to really work the job. So you
Yeah.
have the skill it takes, you have the tools it takes, you have the supplies it takes. So I like this position a lot too. And it's a day
Yeah.
that the retreat's over. We'll be coming home. We've got our tools, where our tool bag set. We understand we have good forward movement.
Yeah. And it seems very empowering. So I like it. So let's move into talisman times, where we wanted to just remind everyone the January talisman of the month is to bind a contract. The affirmation, I join together with you now. I promise to act wholly in this sacred time and trust that we create law that we both agree on and to. We are enmeshed. This is Moon in Pisces opposing Mercury in Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I really like binding contract, soul to
Yeah, and
soul. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's kind of has the theme of the moving forward, making your mark, agreeing, asking for support. Hey, even if it's just, hey, can I have your what's your impression of this plan that I have, right? Can I use you as a sounding board? That kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and of course I've got two talisman times that I don't want to give to you now because they're on my week agenda. One on Monday and one on Thursday, one on Friday. But I don't know, because I'm in the retreat, I'm handling this retreat. I don't know if I will be able to get away.
Right.
So I'm not saying them because I don't want to pre-sell them, especially if I'm unable to be available during the
Right.
retreat, because that's kind
Right.
of,
Makes sense. Makes sense. So those will be surprise talismans possibly next week. So let's move on to the horizon, where you and Susan finished up the year ahead astrology forecast that is free and open to all. The link is in the show notes here. It's a 2-hour special where Sandy and Susan go over the entirety of the year. It's a wonderful time to take notes, throw it in your 2024 new calendars, and just get a flavor of what's to come.
yeah, it was fun to do. And actually, did you see that we got, of course, Susan and I, our gig on Patreon is called Chatting with the Stars, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we had someone watching us that is an astrologer reporter, and she gave us major kudos of the three 2024 predictions of the year to pay attention to.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, very cool. So it was like, and it's someone that we met at an intention beads event, gosh, back in 2015. And now she's a reporter for the astrologers. So we got great kudos for that. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, I was very proud of it. Yeah.
Okay, so we also are announcing our 2024 Bali retreat. That's April 3rd to the 14th. If you have
You know
never
what?
been to
Let me clarify that. The 13th, the 3rd to
oh,
the 13th.
3rd to the 13th. Got it.
Yeah.
And if you have not been to Bali before, it is a really truly magical place where you can purify, you can really connect internally, you can feel at home and at peace even when you're so far away. Um Bali is it
It's
is
magical.
magic.
Hmm. Yeah.
um Also in September we have our 2024 Greece retreat. And shortly following that is the 2024 Egypt retreat. So if you are interested in joining for any of those and you have a few questions, you can receive a free 15-minute call with Sandy to ask whatever questions you have and see if it's a good fit for you. Of course, that link is in the description as well. So let's move into our house, where you're just beginning the 2024 Mexico retreat for the beginning of the year.
Yeah. And you know what? One of the major, when I walked the property when I first arrived here last week, it's been 8 years since we started this retreat here when Marcella just opened Casa Tara. And you should see the trees and the bushes and the cactus and the golden tree. They're so grown, they're growing up. It's so amazing how this is lush when she started with just, a kind of desert-like sand at the beach. So really kind of it's growing up, shall we say. Right?
Yes. Right. That's so cool. Maybe you can take a video and post it up on Instagram. I think that would be really cool.
Okay, what I should do is start from when you get dropped off at the top of the walkway and just take a picture all the way down to the pool and then down to the beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be wonderful.
I'll do that.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to share about the Mexico retreat? We have talked a lot about it.
It's really cool. It's a lot of new people in the group that is coming to, whether they have met me or have heard about our work, are people that I don't know. So that's very, very enlightening and exciting because, we get to expand our knowledge, our friends or associates. So it's been really interesting, and you got to keep an open mind because you don't know someone, right? But as I teach Mercury here, it's all about communication. It's all about negotiating and understanding new ways and new thought processes.
Right.
Yeah. Because with friends or with clients or people that you do know, you have sort of a repertoire with, and those that you don't know, you start from the beginning. And that's always enlightening because if you're truly open to understanding someone, and they understanding you, it's a really nice exchange of verbiage, right? And how you perceive, or the questions you ask, or the comments you make. So,
and I think, I think also the word you might be looking for is rapport or reputation. Yeah. So I'm so excited. I think the Mercury theme is going to be really spectacular, about diving in and learning more about communication and the way we can communicate internally as well as externally. And you're only just one day away.
Well, you would think that the whole world needs a better way to communicate with each other. It's part of the issues at hand. We're not understanding or giving. We have preconceived ideas of things.
Yeah.
Right. So to open the mind, at least we can start with our immediate surroundings.
Yes. Well, I guess that is a wrap on our episode today. So thank you everybody for listening in, and we will talk to you all next week. Have a great week, everybody. Bye-bye.
Adios.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story of you. The story of you, the story